She only wanted to rest, but before she could even check in, 2 security guards closed in on her like she was a threat. The reason? Her skin color. What they didn't know is that the woman they were humiliating owned half the building. It was nearly 4 p.m. when Vanessa Moore stepped out of her black Lexus, the Florida sun casting a golden glow across the entrance of the Fairmont Riviera Hotel. She was dressed in a light beige pantsuit, her hair bone straight and flowing down to her shoulders, parted with clinical precision. Her heels clicked softly on the marble tiles as she rolled her suitcase behind her. Everything about her said calm, composed, professional. Vanessa had flown in from New York that morning. She wasn't in Miami for leisure, although the ocean view from this hotel was supposedly one of the best in the country. No, she was here for business, a very specific one. But she hadn't told anyone that yet. As she approached the check-in desk, she noticed the subtle pause. The woman behind the counter, a young white receptionist with a tight bun and a forced smile, looked up, made eye contact, then let her eyes drop, slowly assessing Vanessa's appearance. Something in her expression shifted. "Hello," Vanessa said politely. "Reservation under Vanessa Moore." The receptionist blinked. Then she hesitated, tapping on her keyboard as if confused. "I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't see any reservation under that name." Vanessa calmly reached into her handbag, pulled out her phone and scrolled to the confirmation email. "Here, it was booked 3 days ago. You should have it." The receptionist barely glanced at the screen before nodding stiffly. One moment. What happened next, Vanessa would later describe as predictably insulting. Within 60 seconds, 2 large men in black uniforms appeared on either side of her, hotel security. One of them, a tall man with a bald head and an earpiece, crossed his arms in front of her. "Ma'am," he said, "we've had a complaint. We're going to have to ask you to leave the premises." Vanessa blinked in disbelief. "Excuse me? This hotel doesn't tolerate suspicious activity, and guests have already reported you wandering around." "I just arrived," she replied, keeping her voice calm, "and I have a reservation." "Sure you do," the second guard said with a smirk. "Let's not make this difficult. You can leave on your own or we can help you out." The receptionist stood silently behind them, eyes cold. Vanessa looked around. A couple standing near the elevators was watching. A man in a golf polo and khakis glanced over his newspaper. No one said anything. No one ever did. Vanessa felt the familiar heat rise in her chest. Not fear, not shame. Disappointment, the kind she knew all too well. She took a breath. "Is the general manager on site?" The bald guard's jaw tightened. "Ma'am, this doesn't have to go any further. Let's go." She didn't move. Instead, she pulled her phone out again. Her hands were steady. She stepped to the side, pressed a contact labeled simply "Michael, CEO," and put the phone to her ear. "Hi, Michael," she said softly, keeping her eyes on the guards. "I'm here at the Riviera. Apparently they don't recognize me." "Yes. I think we should schedule the meeting earlier than planned." "Right now would be perfect." There was a pause. She smiled faintly. "I'll wait." The guards looked at each other, confused. The receptionist shifted uncomfortably behind the desk, now pretending to type something. Vanessa didn't explain herself. She stood there, tall and unmoved, while the men who thought they had power over her began to sweat in silence. Exactly 4 minutes later, the glass doors of the hotel parted again. A sleek black car pulled up, and out stepped a man in a dark navy suit, looking like he had just sprinted from a meeting. His name was Thomas Whitaker, the regional operations manager, and the moment he saw Vanessa, his face turned pale. He nearly tripped over himself trying to reach her. "Ms. Moore, Vanessa, I am so sorry, please. Forgive the delay. They didn't know. I wasn't informed you were arriving this early." The guards' mouths fell open. The receptionist froze. Vanessa raised an eyebrow. "So you do have my reservation now?" Thomas gave the desk a death glare. "She's not just a guest. She's one of our new senior equity partners. She owns," he glanced at the guards, "41% of the company." There was silence. Then the taller guard stammered, "Ma'am, we were just following." She cut him off. "Following what? Your instincts? Or your assumptions?" The receptionist tried to chime in, but Vanessa waved a hand. "I'm not here for apologies," she said. "I'm here to work. And the first thing we'll be working on is this place. If you're hooked by this moment, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep you at the edge of your seat. And stay tuned, because this story is far from over." Vanessa didn't need to yell. She didn't need to threaten. Her presence alone shifted the entire temperature of the lobby. The guards stepped back, unsure of what to do with themselves. The receptionist, now visibly flushed, began to mumble something about miscommunication and standard protocol, but Thomas wasn't having it. He gestured sharply at her. "Go to the back office, now." She disappeared without another word. Vanessa turned to Thomas. "I'd like to see the suite, the same one I approved in the renovation plans." "Absolutely," he nodded quickly. "Let me escort you personally." As they moved toward the elevator, whispers erupted around the lobby. Guests leaned toward each other, trying to make sense of what had just happened. But Vanessa didn't look back. Once they entered the penthouse suite, Vanessa stepped inside and gave a slow nod of approval. The space was exactly as she'd imagined it during the design meetings: floor-to-ceiling windows facing the Atlantic, muted earth tones, curated art from local black artists, and subtle but refined luxury. Thomas stood awkwardly by the door. "I can't begin to apologize for what happened downstairs. Those men are the reflection of this company's culture," Vanessa interrupted, "and I'm not here to listen to excuses. I'm here to change it." He lowered his eyes. "Understood." She walked to the window, her voice even. "You know what the problem is, Thomas? This hotel has diversity in its decor, in its cuisine, in its marketing brochures. But when someone like me walks through the door without a red carpet and press conference, your staff sees a threat." Thomas looked deeply uncomfortable, but he didn't argue. He couldn't. Vanessa turned back to him. "I want the entire staff in the main conference room tomorrow at 9 a.m. No one is exempt, not even management. And let the board know that I'll be auditing every single customer complaint from the last 18 months. I want patterns. I want names." He nodded. "I'll make the arrangements. And Thomas," she said as he reached the door, "those 2 security guards and the receptionist, put them on temporary leave. We'll discuss permanent decisions after I meet with them personally." The next morning, the energy in the hotel was tense. Employees whispered in hallways, managers looked at their phones more than usual, and at exactly 8:58 a.m., Vanessa entered the conference room wearing a navy dress suit, heels clicking confidently across the floor. Every seat was filled. She stood in front of them, didn't raise her voice, didn't pace. "I want to make one thing very clear," she began. "I'm not here to play the angry black woman stereotype you expect. I'm here as your superior, your partner, and your reality check." The room was silent. "Yesterday, 3 of your colleagues profiled me, humiliated me, and treated me like a criminal. And it wasn't just about me. It was about what I represent. Every woman who looks like me, every person of color who walks into this hotel expecting respect and receives suspicion instead." She looked around. "That ends now." Over the next hour, she outlined a new series of policies: mandatory anti-bias training, quarterly cultural sensitivity workshops, a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination, not just from staff, but from guests as well. "If a guest treats one of our employees like less than human because of their race, gender, or background," she said firmly, "we will not accommodate them. We do not need their money." The room shifted. Some employees nodded, others looked down, ashamed. A few seemed skeptical. Vanessa noticed. She wasn't here to win everyone over. She was here to clean house. Later that day, she met with the 3 employees involved. The receptionist, Sarah, was defensive at first, claiming she was just following protocol. "Protocol," Vanessa said sharply, "doesn't mean skipping basic human decency." Sarah teared up. "I didn't mean—" "But you did it," Vanessa interrupted. "And that's what matters. You didn't think I belonged here, so you made sure I didn't feel like I did." The guards were next. One remained silent. The other, the tall one, apologized, stumbling over his words. Vanessa listened. Then she made her decision. "Effective immediately, you're terminated," she told him. "This hotel is under new leadership, and we will not protect ignorance." The quiet guard was offered the option to stay, under strict retraining and a probation period. He accepted with visible relief. Vanessa didn't take pleasure in firing anyone, but she knew one thing: change didn't come from speeches, it came from consequences. That weekend, Vanessa walked through the hotel casually, dressed in jeans and a blouse. Guests and staff alike greeted her with newfound respect or caution. Either way, they saw her now. In the rooftop lounge, an older black couple approached her. The woman smiled. "Are you Vanessa Moore?" she asked gently. Vanessa nodded. "We heard what happened," the woman continued. "We've been coming to this hotel for years, never felt truly welcome, but today felt different." Vanessa smiled. "That's the goal." Before they left, the woman touched her arm. "Thank you for not walking away." And Vanessa thought, that's exactly why I couldn't, not just for her, but for every person after her, every young black girl who'll walk through those doors in the future and be seen for what she is, deserving. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more powerful stories like this one, because dignity should never be optional, and respect, that's non-negotiable.